Yeah.
Start by talking about how this season of SA20 has been personally for you, the quality of the games.
Yeah, look, I think for me it has been very enjoyable. Obviously, it's my young career of commentary. It's learning with every single season. But what I have appreciated the most is, first of all, the quality of the cricket. I think that's the biggest selling point of a tournament is when the cricket is good. And for me, that the pitches maybe potentially haven't been as good as we've seen in the first two seasons, but weather has played a big part in that. But the cricket itself, the product of the game has been excellent, and there's a reason why the scores have been so good and the crowds have been coming out. And that's I think my next point is the crowds that have come in are a lot more younger than we are used to seeing in South Africa. School nights, you never saw kids coming out on a school night. So that tells you that people are excited about cricket in South Africa again. And that's what potentially just before COVID, this is what we had. We had people coming into the games, watching the crowd, watching the games of cricket, and the stadiums were packed. Whereas obviously a lot of that changed after COVID. But now, the popularity of cricket is coming back slowly but surely. It's been a successful first two seasons, and this season I think has been even better. Fuller stadiums, and yeah, the quality of the game. People are excited, and they've got behind their local teams, and I think that's what you want when you've got a brand like this. You want locals to be supporting their local side.
There is obviously COVID, but also a couple of off-field incidents with respect to South African cricket. How has SA20, the timing of SA20 and the popularity, and like you said, kids coming back in, how has that changed?
Yeah, look, I think what's important to know is in South Africa it's pretty much similar in Australia. Over the December period, December January, that's summer of cricket in South Africa, and it was like that when I grew up. I remember coming over the December period, watching cricket, and just enjoying that full holiday period, basically, if you want to call it, of cricket. And obviously, as cricket watchers and sport crazy people in South Africa, that's what we want. So, look, obviously the popularity of the game, and people maybe not coming out to the games, they'd rather sit at home and watch it. And when you're pulling crowds into the stadium, you're obviously doing something right. So the summer of cricket is back in South Africa. The popularity of the game is seriously back. And what is nice for me is that you've got guys that are playing domestic cricket and they're becoming household names, which it was like that a couple of years ago, and now it's happening again. So look, and what it does is put players on the map around the world, and that's basically what you want as a cricketer.
Chris, just a follow up to that. You talked about the timing. So, is it just the timing for the popularity, or what different has SA T20 anyway done as compared to the earlier iterations of T20 leagues that we've seen in South Africa? So, what's different? Is it the crowd, or is it the marketing of it? It's different. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, well, everybody loves something new. That's what's important. It's something new. It's a new product. I mean, we've seen leagues around the world do it. Obviously, England have got the 100, and Big Bash did the similar thing with their BBL, or Australia did the same thing with the BBL. So a new product, something new. People haven't seen anything. All of a sudden, we've got international players, a lot more international players coming to play. Whereas in the past, we only had one playing in a team if we could get them in. So with international players coming, people want to watch quality. They want to watch good cricket. They want to watch good sport. And we've been so lucky with the rugby, and obviously the success of the Springboks and domestic, and rugby so well supported. Football's the same, but when you've got quality players coming in, people want to watch the world's best player. And the nice thing is we've got the best in South Africa playing in this league too. So I think that's a massive, massive draw card for this league. We've got the best players playing against the best players, and a new product, new colours, new teams. And what is cool about it is that obviously you've got your support base in the IPL, and South Africans follow IPL probably second best to India. So you've got people that support teams in India that are all of a sudden in South Africa, and they can get behind it. So it's been an unbelievable marketing ploy, and the teams that have come in are popular teams in the IPL. So we're very fortunate that Graham has been such a good man and had a good relationship with the guys from India. And yeah, with this team, with these teams coming across, it all of a sudden creates an even bigger support base, not just here but also in India.
So I have two questions. The first is you did headlines in India when you got a big contract with the IPL. Remember that moment? And then a year later, you decided to quit. What happened? Which
Yeah, I mean, look, it wasn't a difficult decision. It was a long thought decision, but it wasn't difficult. I think the main reason was young family. I was when I retired, it was just coming out of the COVID restrictions, but there were still the restrictions in place, and we were playing in the IPL in Dubai. And yeah, my wife was quite heavily pregnant at the time when IPL was coming around, the new auction. And it would have been really difficult on her to leave her at home with a 4-year-old that my son was at the time, and then to give birth to another one, and all of a sudden I'm leaving because my son was born in March, just before IPL. So it wouldn't have been personally, it would have been the best decision to go. My wife supported me 100%, and she told me to go, and I said no. She said I needed to go, and I said no. Like for me personally, it was the right time. Mentally and physically, I was quite tired. I'll be honest that the COVID years did manage to take a little bit out of me. It was quite a tough few months of cricket. Just to continuously trying to find ways to play. Because the facilities weren't available at all times. So and it does take its toll. So I take my hat off to the guys who have found a way to carry on afterwards. But yeah, I just felt it was the right time, and I needed to be at home with my family, and I don't regret my decision one bit. I do regret not playing in this tournament. I'll be honest. I promise you, it's the only tournament as a retired cricketer that I've gone, flip, I really wanted to play in that, and it's this one just because of the crowd and what it means to the people, and it's just a cool tournament, man.
Well, you got a big contract. You still kept your head on the shoulders. What do you advise the youngsters in this tournament when they have contracts, they have money coming in? How do they focus on the job at hand?
Well, I think the nice thing is about when you've got big contracts coming in as a youngster, it's not about the money. The money's nice. That's the part and parcel of playing professional sport. You do get paid, and when big contracts do come in, it's not your main focus. Your main focus is to play as well as you can and do well for your team. And I'd like to think with the youngsters coming through now, their goal isn't to make money. Their goal is to play for South Africa. And I think what's happened in this tournament, as we've seen, is guys have put their hand up in the tournament and then they've gotten their call up. So maybe, look, at the end of the day, people always say how much money you earn, and that's important. But I've always said it throughout my career with big contracts. It doesn't matter how much you're earning. You could be earning the least amount or the most, but when you cross that line, you're all equal and you have to perform. So I like to think that money doesn't play a big part. It's nice. Let's not get it wrong. It's really nice to be paid well, but you need to be performing for your team, and obviously the main goal is to play international cricket.
Chris, over the last 12 to 18 months, we've seen a lot of young South African products come up. There's obviously playing here, Mafaka's playing here, Gavin Paddingham is there, Pretorius, we saw. What's happened over the last 12 to 18 months? Is it just the SA20, or is the SA20 incidental?
Yeah, look, I don't. South Africa has never been short of talent. It's always been there, and to give the guys an opportunity to get on the world stage has been so important for the youngsters coming through. And when you give guys a target that, like obviously South Africa, you want to play there. That's where you want to get. That's where everybody's dream is to play international cricket. This is a stepping stone, and how you get to your stepping stone, and that's by performing. And the guys that are being picked aren't just names aren't being thrown in a hat and saying, "Oh, we'll pick him." It's guys that are putting numbers on the board. So I think that's the target to play in the SA20 is for every single player in South Africa that's playing domestic cricket. That's the target. That's the goal. You want to play in this tournament. It's the biggest tournament in our country. It's with the whole country is watching us, barring South African or the Proteas playing. This is what people are watching, and you want to be on the big stage as a cricketer. And as I said, this tournament is a stepping stone to get to that next level of cricket.
And Chris, you referenced a bit of IPL there. You referenced international players coming in, the young guys stepping up. Dinesh Karthik was part of this. Robin Uthappa was part of this. Of course, these guys coming in, there's the eyeballs bigger.
Yeah.
The roadmap kind of, in a way, with more Indian players coming in, what are the kind of talks? I mean, maybe Smith or informal chat or something that you
I don't know. I would absolutely love it. I mean, listen, there's a reason why the IPL is so big. It's because you've got seriously classy players from India that are playing. And I say it every year at the IPL, that every single season there's a new crop of youngsters coming through that we look at and we go, how old are you? Like, you cannot believe these guys are that good at that age. And if we could get more Indian superstars coming over, it'd be unbelievably awesome, because there's such a big following in South Africa, specifically of Indian cricket. I mean, every time the guys tour, it almost feels like we're playing an away game. So, there's such a big following of Indian cricket, and there's a reason why they've been so successful throughout the years, because of the quality of cricketers. So if we can pull those guys in here, I know it'll be difficult, but it'll be sick. And like, with just a word on Dinesh, I mean, the guys in the change room have spoken unbelievably about. I mean, I love his commentary. I played against him quite a few times, so he's quite a tough man to play against. But the guys in the change room have said he's been unbelievable, and and that's what you want. You've obviously got the youngsters, and that's the aim, is to bring youngsters through. But when you've got the quality players like at the world class players coming in, it's what the youngsters can feed off. And to have a guy like him has been awesome, and very loud behind the stumps.
One last question.
Yes.
Just two names from this league you think the franchise leagues are going to explode for.
Oh, geez, it's difficult to look past old Landry Pretorius. I think he is a serious talent. I think he's probably the closest I've seen to Quinton de Kock. I'm talking left-handed batter that I've ever seen. And the shots that he plays off the bowlers that he's playing. That's more important for me. It's not just the shots he's playing off. He's playing off like these shots against the seriously world-class players. So I think he's one that definitely stands out. And I mean, I want to say Mapaka, but he's played Test cricket, so it's difficult to talk about him. But look, I'm a massive fan of the two Herman brothers. I'm a little bit biased. I have played with them, so I'm big fans of them as people, first of all. But I think they're both. I think Jordan Herman, in my opinion, has got Test cricket written all over him. And what Rupert Herman played tonight, I think he's definitely got a big future. But yeah, they are two seriously good players, two committed players. And you want to talk about guys who want to play for South Africa, those are the two.